Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction, bringing you some more Tribe reaction videos. I'm going to be releasing these hopefully today on Friday, so you can check those out. And then tomorrow, I'm going to see Tribe, and I'm also releasing the one for their newest song, Wonderland. So if you like K-pop, you're gonna see some more of it. I'm also working on one for Dreamcatcher as well. Just trying to get more familiarized with the K-pop and that type of music. As most people know, that's not what I typically listen to, but I've been really digging a lot of K-pop recently. But anyway, we're gonna start off with the first one of the three, which is Would You Run? Yeah, let's give it a listen. Okay. That sub bass is nuts. Ooh. This is sick. Ooh, interesting. I like the change. Oh, what? This goes hard. All right. This chorus is hype. Oh, I like this. All right. That like Egyptian, Phrygian sort of styling in the background with like some major like vocals. Interesting. The complexity is. That melody run, that is sick. Oh, it's so much fun. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. Call back from an earlier part of the song. That one was kudos. That was great. I enjoyed this one a lot. Is this like a storyline piece? I feel like it is. There's something there that I don't know. Someone wants to let me know down in the comments, that'd be sick. But I enjoyed this one a lot. I think this one thus far might be my favorite Tribe song, just because I loved the beat going on in the song. I think everybody had like a really cool, unique moment in the track. I think kind of the coolest thing that I've been able to point out with K-pop compared to like other genres, mostly listen to like a lot of metal, heavier, post-hardcore, metalcore, all that sort of stuff. That's like my bread and butter. I know that I mentioned that a lot in my previous reaction video to Tribe, but I think the kind of the largest difference between the two like stylings or a genre of music compared to, K-pop, I think K-pop is so like complex. There's something about it where, again, as I'm listening through the songs, I'm kind of picking out different elements that I think are interesting, and I can almost be assured that the next time I listen to this song, I'm not going to be able to point out the same things, just because I think there's just such a level of complexity that is found within the writing. I know that they have a lot of like producers, and it's very meticulous, and you can really tell the level of detail that is involved with K-pop songs, the all the way down from like the choreography to the musicality of things, how they're kind of able to layer different voices over each other. What part sounds really cool with a drop, maybe with some rapping? What sounds really cool with like more of a big open part with vocals? Like, how can we kind of stack the vocals? It's just really complex, and I think that's like one of the coolest things that, at least for me, getting more into this space has allowed me to kind of appreciate a lot. And I think it oftentimes, like, you think about pop music and you don't think it's like incredibly complex or diverse. And I could say that the opposite is very true. I think there's just so much level. I'd argue there's more complexity in this song than any metal song that I've heard in quite a bit. So I think that they really take that level seriously, and then also again to kind of match that same sort of energy in both a music video situation as well as doing this live. I think they do a great job of kind of finding that balance and tuning it very well. I mean, obviously that's probably why K-pop is, becoming such a large genre, is because there's this level of critique that is found within that scene of music. So love to see it, certainly. I think some of the coolest things was, again, a former point I made in the last reaction video, which I love the more like Egyptian, even sometimes Latin inspired beats that they have going on. I think that's really just a unique tone that I don't feel like I get to hear too often in like, other K-pop art. K-pop groups or artists groups. So I think that that really separates them from the pack in that aspect of things. But I just love the musicality of this. I think the layering, the complexity, the just like the cool parts where like maybe the bass and like the drumming and like some of maybe like the weird like synth pad sort of stuff have this more like Phrygian, like kind of like, I don't want to say minor tonality, but definitely a little bit like left to center. And then you have these really cool kind of like pop major kind of vocal lines or vocal riffs that go over top of it. Really cool. And then I think you really get kind of the like dirty grittiness of like this track itself when you just have like the sub bass and the drumming and then have like rapping over top of it. I just love how everything kind of cuts out and you can really just focus solely on the rapping portions of the song. I think that that's really sick, and I enjoyed that a lot as well too. Again, I think it just stems back to my original point, which is the level of complexity, the structure of the songs. They really take a lot of time to mold it into what it is, and I think they do a fantastic job. And I think this is no shortage of any of those things that I mentioned. I think they do it all well and in spades, certainly. So this one's probably my favorite. I hope that maybe either Kiss or In the Air might might take over top of that one, but I would argue this one's probably one of my favorite ones thus far that I've listened to. Again, massive shouts to Alex for recommending me these songs. And then I was the one who said, "Hey, is a new song Wonderland, is that their newest track?" And he said yes. So did get the sealed sign of approval of Alex, so I feel like that's all I need to continue doing these Tribe B videos, along with the great commenters that commented on my last video. I appreciate you. But we are going to move it on to the next track, which is Kiss. So I'll be right back and we'll have that all set up to go. All right, guys. So we're back. This is the next track on the list. Songs that I'm going to be doing reactions for. This one is Kiss. Again, Alex had signed and sealed and approved all of these songs. So if you don't feel like if there's a Tribe song you would love me to react to going in the future, let me know down in the comments. I felt like this was from again what I gathered from Alex. This was kind of a good smattering of different Tribe songs across their catalog of music. So if you think there's another one that you would like me to hear or react to, that is the time to drop it down in the comments. But we are going to move it on to the next track, which is Kiss. So let's give it a listen. Ooh, this is cool. Oh, all right. It's a little weird. I like it though. Oh, like that harmonized vocals. Oh, the harmonies. Oh, good. Blow a little, blow a little kiss. Blow a little, blow a little kiss. This is interesting. Give it to me right down. Ooh. The different pans. Oh, this is hard. This like riser kind of thing that gets into the chorus. All right. Like the build up. Super sick. Blow a little, blow a little kiss. Blow a little, blow a little kiss. Give it to me right down there. To make you crazy. This is cool. Like sugary kind of like bubblegum pop sort of aesthetic. All right. And vocally too. Woo. Okay. That's cool. This sub bass. Woo. This one was interesting. All right, guys. Well, that was the next track I listened to, which is Kiss by Tribe. If you're obviously, I imagine, if you're still watching the same video, you know what song it is. But this one was interesting. I think out of the songs that I've listened to, I would imagine this one to be the oldest one, if I had to guess, just because I feel like their sound has, I would argue, migrated more into, like, again, that sort of Latin, like Egyptian kind of more like trap beat kind of thing going on, and I think that this feels a little bit, I don't want to say dated, but it feels of a certain time frame, and it doesn't feel like it's more of their current style of music, but it's cool to see where they started from. This is arguably very different from the other Tribe stuff I have listened to thus far. I felt like this was very like bass heavy, which it can, I feel like, sometimes be a deterrent in regards to musical styling. I don't typically listen to like a lot of drum and bass music, but I could tell that this one has more of that sort of styling to it. There's definitely more of a sensibility towards the like major key, because there's a lot of major key changes going on in this song, which I think was really cool. I like some of the like build up parts. I think like the pre-choruses were really tight. I didn't really get that first part of the chorus. That's the one thing that I think didn't stick with me like upon the first chorus, but then by the time the second chorus came in, I like understood it, so I felt like I was more immersed in it a little bit better. But that first chorus is definitely something that I wasn't really expecting, which I think is always a cool thing. When a band or an artist does something that you don't feel like they're gonna do, and they're like, well, we're gonna do the different thing, and then they just crush it. So I thought that was really cool, definitely interesting. I like how, again, mostly everything dropped out except for like the sub bass and the vocals, so you could really hone in on that sort of sound that Tribe has built off of, and then as well as that, like the vocal harmonies are really great, and I think they meshed up super well. And I think that's what kind of, again, draws your sort of focal point in the track itself, mostly to the vocals. And that's kind of like the guiding light of the track, I would argue. So I think that that's really cool. I think that the kind of rap verses hit a little bit harder, just because I think there's a lot more attention to detail in regards to like the bass and like maybe a little bit more of the pads and the drumming on this track. I think that they definitely land more in that category. Very similarly to Would You Run, I think that they really kind of feel like, especially the rap portions of the song, really feel like in that same sort of category. So I appreciate that, because I love when just like everything kind of gets stripped out and the vocals are kind of the main focal point of the track. That's really nice. But then you get the cool dichotomy of that, which is just like really stacked layers, really interesting harmonies, really kind of interesting melodies, especially in that last chorus. I thought that was like probably the best part of the song. But yeah, it was a very interesting one, a little bit of a different take from what I've heard thus far from Tribe. So to me, this one feels kind of like the black sheep. It is a little bit out there, but I think oftentimes, we expect bands or artists to kind of keep the same sort of frame of reference, and clearly that's not what they stuck with, which is great, because I think that the type of music they're making now is really good, but I also feel like you can't forget your roots, and I feel like this song feels like a roots sort of song. It feels like a very early on sort of track, and you can tell that they were really trying to, from what I could gather, I think they were trying to find their sound. And I would argue with the more current stuff that they've released, they've definitely found more of their sound, or like have become more comfortable with the sound that they're creating now. So always a good starting point. I think Kiss is a great track, but it's definitely like left to center from, what you have heard from Tribe thus far, if you're a new person to Tribe, much like myself. So we are going to get into the last video. This one is going to be of In the Air. So let me boot that up, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're into the final track, and then the next day you're going to get Wonderland. So hopefully, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, this is another new song to me. Their song In the Air 777. So I'm excited to give this one a listen. Again, all of this was big shout outs to Alex, the GOAT, man. Always sending me some really cool songs that I should listen to from this band, or group. I don't know. This is a new world to me. But anyway, let's get into the song and let's give it a listen. Feels very like modern pop inspired, obviously. Yeah, this is very like modern pop inspired. Nice riser, yeah. Ooh, all right. I mean, it's a bop. It's kind of got like a dance feel to it, you know? I mean, I know they're dancing, but like dance sound wise. I like this part though. Oh, I like that trap beat switch up. Okay. All I'm saying is that I wish I could be this cool dancing. That like drum build up, all right. All right, that was a bop. That was good. I liked it. All right, guys, that was Try B. This is the last song I'm going to be doing in this 3-part song series. In the Air 777. I enjoyed this one a lot. I think this one feels. I would argue this one is probably one of the better ones to listen to if you aren't familiar with K-pop at all, because this doesn't like. I think if you listen to like a modern kind of like electro pop sort of song, like very EDM inspired, you know, like house, like EDM, like dance hall kind of stuff. I feel like you can kind of find a little bit of that sort of similarities within this track. There was parts where I almost thought it was going to be like almost like Calvin Harrisy, kind of like what's the other song? The one with Haley Williams, and I can't remember. Stay the Night kind of had that. I think that's also Calvin Harris. So Calvin Harris, that's the person I think I'm thinking of. It does have that kind of, again, that sort of like party house, like pop kind of sort of sound, and I think that they definitely do that well. Though it does kind of feel like a little neutered in that way, just because I think I have gone about it in a way of listening to the older stuff, and then you get very similarly to like Kiss. You know, I felt a specific way about this song, and I felt very specific way about Kiss, where like you can kind of tell their roots, right? They're very pop based, you know, and they really kind of started in that sort of pop sort of sound. And as the years kind of have progressed, they've moved a little bit more far lefter to like outside of pop, and then incorporating like more like Latin elements, incorporating more like just like Egyptian kind of like that sound styling, like very Phrygian. And I think you can just kind of tell over the years, and obviously the amount of time that they've released music, you can just kind of hear where their influence has gone, and how they've kind of diverged from the more like I would care to say like more typical, or like I guess like stereotypical K-pop music. Like when you think about it, it's very like bubblegum coated, very like poppy, very lush, and I feel like this song is in that sort of category, which is not bad. I think they did a fantastic job. It's super catchy, really fun, and it's just like one of those songs that you just can't help but have like a smile on your face. It just really warms the heart, in that way. However, I think their newer stuff is stuff that I think interests me more because I think they're playing more into their styling and what they want to do, right? Um, and I don't feel like that their performance of this song is any less. Same with Kiss, but I think it's about finding your voice as a musician or as a music group or an idol group, whatever you want to call it. It's about finding those moments where you can try to separate yourself from the pack, as well as that just kind of incorporating styles and music that you like. And I feel like with Tribe, this was kind of like the starting point, and I feel like as they've kind of progressed, they've moved more into like maybe like a darker kind of like I feel like they have a little bit of darker pop elements. They have some more rapping involved. They have like some really cool trap beats. They have some great like Latin and Egyptian kind of influences. I think there's just a lot more to offer with current Tribe stuff as opposed to songs like these. And that's not to discount these songs in any way. I enjoyed these songs just as much as I've enjoyed some of the other ones. But you can kind of tell that this was just like a very straightforward pop track, and it's good. So I don't know if that was just a bunch of me rambling, but I feel like I kind of made it somewhat conclusive in that way. But I enjoyed this. This one, I still think out of the three, Would You Run was my favorite of the three. But I think this one was a very close second, just because I think it was fun, very bubblegum pop sort of stuff, and it really just again it just warms the heart. So I think that's kind of like the major draw point. And then I think Kiss is not too far behind that. I would argue is obviously I put it at the lowest one, but I don't think I love it any less. To me, it wasn't one that struck me as much as the other two that I just mentioned. In the Air and Would You Run. I think that those ones stuck around a little bit more in the old noggin, and I just enjoyed more the vibes of those tracks. But who knows? Maybe this next song, Wonderland, I'll be really excited for. Check back tomorrow for that one. I'm very excited to release that. And obviously, if you enjoyed this reaction video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you do have a K-pop artist or group that you would love me to listen to, let me know down below. As I mentioned at the top of this video, I will be doing some dream capture reaction videos, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, if you have any other really cool K-pop artists or groups that you'd like me to take a listen to, would love to be able to dive more into this and hopefully be well acquainted with K-pop and what they're doing right now, because the genre is doing great. So I mean, I can't complain. So please go check out Tribe. If you are going to be at the Philly show, come say hi to me. I may or may not be wearing this shirt, so I feel like you probably point me out. But hey, who knows? But if you do see me in Philly, don't be afraid to say hi. I'd like to meet you and hang out and say what's up. So thank you guys for watching. Love all of you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.